Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ETS2 Showcases, and today I'm going to be finally doing my very first look at the Renault E-Tech truck here in Euro Truck Simulator 2, the very first all-electric truck to be entered into the game. And to test out this all-electric truck, we're going to be hauling this air conditioner unit from here in Lille, and we're going to head up to Rotterdam today. Now, this truck is very unique, besides it being electric, and that is very unique in its own right. However, this is not an ownable truck. This Renault E-Tech has been implemented into ETS2 as part of the Quick Jobs feature within the game. So to find this truck within your ETS2 job market, make sure you're under the Quick Job tab, quite obviously, and then come up to the top left-hand corner where you can search by brand. Select Renault trucks, and then you can either scroll through the list here or hop around to some of the different cities that are available, and then eventually you should be able to find a Renault E-Tech delivery, which is marked by this blue lightning bolt. So any delivery will be predefined, then the truck can make sure it can get from point A to point B without needing to be recharged. All right, I've been talking long enough. Let's go ahead and get this Renault E-Tech started up and get on the road. Funny enough, it does actually have a bit of a whine to it when you floor it. I don't know if you'll hear that. I'll try and boost it in editing. So today's video is going to be very interesting because it's mainly just going to be me talking, because this truck is pretty much silent. Now, the interior of this Renault E-Tech is absolutely fabulous. Yes, we cannot edit it at all. We cannot customize it. However, it is still very fantastic. We've got this massive display screen on the right-hand side here. Plenty of buttons still within the truck itself, but the main screen itself is very interesting because it also doubles as your GPS, at least as far as I know. So if you can toggle through the different options, this is the default page, and then it will go through a few different settings and options, and then you end up with the GPS overlay, which of course I will be doing for sure. It shows 100% down in the left-hand corner there for a charge, which is absolutely fantastic, and it looks like we've got about 500 kilometers range on this to go as far as I can tell. So in theory, we should be able to make it there no problem. So let's go ahead and roll out of here and get going. We'll test the peppiness of this truck as we get going. And of course, on the exterior as well, very simple truck, but also really, really good as well. And of course, the skin that is available on it, you cannot change once again. It is the way it is. Now, we're going to try and get out of here. Very, very tight quarters here in the building. So we'll just kind of roll our way out of here. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. It is fantastic to be back here in ETS2. And I will admit, it has been quite some time. And oh boy, I've still got my, markers are no longer invisible here. Okay, as it is absolutely freaking out at me for something, I have no idea. What is it beeping at me at? Is it just because I'm over the white line? Is it that high-tech of truck that it can tell when I'm just over the white line? Or is it a proximity to the pole? Don't know. This is an older section of the map when it's all said and done, so maybe there's something weird that way. Now, this is very weird. Not having any engine noise at all. We're gonna go over here. Okay, every time I throw on the indicator, it absolutely loses it at me. Maybe that's rightfully so. And oh, big flaw, I can't see the GPS. So I've got to be on my game here. I've got to absolutely make sure I know where I am going. Oh man, what a fantastic start. Good to be back here in ETS2. Wasn't that what I was saying? Yes, it has been a little bit since I've been doing any form of longer content, in all honesty, and even some of the Prime news has been a bit hit and miss as well. I do apologize for that. There is only so much that I can control, and I have been incredibly busy outside of, well, YouTube and stuff like that, and the content creation side of my life, so I've been very busy otherwise, but it is still absolutely fantastic to be back here. And also thank you to everyone who showed their support on the very first review video that I posted not too long ago. That is a very interesting thing for me to be able to well, release to you guys. It is a project that I have been very fortunate to be working with Cursum Controls for quite some time, well, at least a number of months now on the project. There are a number of things, of course, on my side and even on their side, for full transparency, that changed over the last few months. So that video was actually supposed to go out a little bit ago. However, there were some things that happened that just delayed that, but that is all fine. Thank you to everyone who supported that video, and honestly, I am very happy with how it turned out. Yes, it is simple, but that's generally speaking my style, and there's some rough edges because, well, that is the very first time I am doing a review video. So is it perfect? No. Are there things I'd like to improve? 100% yes. However, that's what the future is for, and, well, if I get the opportunity again to work with a great company, or Sim Controls once again, that will be something that is on the table. Will it be frequent? No. For those who are concerned, this is not going to turn into a review channel, but in typical Prime Simulation fashion, just kind of testing the waters was just about everything here, and it is definitely, well, a very neat thing to have on the channel. So this Renault E-Tech is a very unique truck, and in first impressions it is extremely snappy. Full throttle. Okay, well, I mean, it's not actually that bad in full fairness, but we're also trying to make sure we're being semi-efficient here. But the really cool thing is that the throttle input is all monitored down on the bar there. So it's power, and then if we go braking, it actually is regen as well, which is really, really neat. And it'd be interesting to see if in ETS2, for those who maybe use the truck more frequently, can you try and do the same delivery multiple times, if that is at least possible? I don't know if it is. And my word, we are struggling up this hill, all the trucks here. Well, we're just going to enjoy this countryside here, because this may take a little bit if we're in this conga line. If you can try and be even more power efficient by being very gentle on the throttle, being very smart on the regenerative braking, it'd be very interesting to know if the economy of and the power, well, just, yeah, economy, and I guess I can't say fuel efficiency, but the efficiency of the battery usage could be, well, improved. That'd be very interesting to know indeed. So comment down below if you've done some testing already. Obviously, I haven't, as this is my very first look at the Renault E-Tech, but I'd be interested to know what you all think. So I am happy to report that more normal content will be resuming on the channel. Well, pretty much starting with this video, stuff will become more consistent, and that is the way I like it. We're going to get back into American Truck Simulator as well, for those who happen to watch all the videos that I put out, which, once again, big thank you there. I'm going to be back into ATS and doing some other things as well. It's going to be really, really good. The review video, in all honesty, because of me being very busy outside of YouTube, also then took a bit of a priority, honestly, to make sure I got it completed, because I wanted to get it out. It's not like I was very fortunate. I really, well, I didn't have any pressure from Sim Controls, so they are fantastic for that. And so besides I'm not going to rave, well, I'm not going to go over, shall I say, the button box too much here. For those who may have watched the review, you very well know what I think about it, but I will just quickly summarize and say it is very, very good. And the company as well, Sim Controls, wonderful to work with as well, absolutely fantastic. So I couldn't recommend them enough, in all honesty. However, that video took a lot in terms of my time and distribution of being able to do other videos as well. Some of you may say, well, Prime, that was a pretty easy looking video to edit, maybe. Well, there's a lot of prep work. And for a person that, well, is not used to a review video, there was a lot of things that I couldn't just use, well, shall I say, a little bit more of my normal templates in efficiency. That's something that, I mean, in real life, I work on quite a bit. I am always trying to improve efficiency in various projects and so on. So when it comes to, well, in here with the content creation side of things, that is a primary focus. I'm trying to make sure that I can enjoy making the content as much as I can, and to be honest, I enjoy it no matter what. But I try to make sure that I am enjoying it and making it so then I can get content up to you all as quickly as possible while keeping as high quality as I can, because I want to make sure that when I make a video, I can then get it up to all of you. You can all enjoy it, and we can all enjoy the process through and through without having headaches of, well, glitches here and there, inconsistencies in videos. Those are all the things that drive me crazy when I watch back a video, is when there is some form of inconsistency that just does not work. Now, back to the Renault E-Tech and talking about ETS2 itself, because, well, I've been busy, of course, and there has been a lot that has happened, but the Renault E-Tech as well, and now I'm going to give a little bit more of an impression as I've been driving it here. I thought when you're driving, or let me rephrase how I'm going to say this. When at low speeds, when I was moving around the yard a little bit, just pulling out of the spot and being able to get ready to prep this video, I thought this truck was going to be very, very punchy, kind of like that electric torque. And very much it does have that electric torque of you can put your foot down when you're going slow and you are going to move quick, both forward and reverse. That is what I found. There's no lag. It is just move forward, backwards, very quick. Now, at higher speeds, when you are rolling with weight on the truck, now keep this in mind, this is a fairly heavy load today, I believe. Yes, 24 and a half, or well, just over 24,000 pounds. A fairly good sized load. Now, when you're rolling, it doesn't necessarily have the pickup or the torque transferred through that I was anticipating the truck to have. It is still pretty powerful, don't get me wrong. But when, say, pulling onto the highway or on certain inclines, it feels like it even lags behind some of the higher horsepower trucks and even torque and just the ability to pull up a hill. I mean, I guess in some ways that makes sense. This engine is not, or this powertrain, I should say, not an engine. This powertrain isn't technically a crazy high horsepower unit as far as I know. I can't remember what it's technically rated at in, I think it's like a kilowatt something. I can't technically remember what it's rated at, but I don't think it's crazy high in terms of what we have options in ETS2 for some of the other trucks, the normal diesel powered units. So it's very interesting just to see that front, because I was anticipating a little bit more of that electric torque, and that's not necessarily the case. Now, in the same sense, we don't want to drain the battery so quickly, so maybe not having all the power, you know, just absolutely flood out the battery in a crazy massive power system and powertrain in this truck makes sense in many ways, because we want to try and Renault in real life, I guess, and of course what they've modeled this truck after, they're trying to improve efficiency. They're trying to make sure that this electric truck can go as far as possible while not being so lethargically slow that no one will buy it. So that makes sense in many ways. There's that happy medium that they have to, well, tailor to. And it's very interesting still to kind of feel that in ETS2 now. Have that comparison. Having a full electric truck versus all the other ones is just a big difference. In all honesty, I've never driven a full electric vehicle. So this is my very first time doing that as well, albeit virtual. I can kind of anticipate in some ways what it would be like, and it correlates with a lot of people say that I know in real life that do have electric vehicles, or at least have driven them. They say, generally speaking, very punchy at low end, and, well, at least with cars, generally can pick up quite well as well. But I guess with the trucks, we have to take a little bit of a grain of salt there, because it's, well, not necessarily the same power or intended use, really. Trucks normally aren't the ones having to speed up to pass someone. I guess that's a fair point to be made. This fully quietness is really weird. Maybe this is honestly what it's like when in some of my earlier videos the game audio wasn't really the best at times for corresponding with my voice, and some people will argue that maybe it's still not. Well, that is to each their own. I feel like it's generally pretty good with the gas engines. I can keep it pretty consistent. However, this feels like some of the really early videos where some episodes you could barely hear the game audio, and it was just my lovely voice that you would hear as we go along. So it's very interesting for me to be recording this, hearing the truck noise, or the lack thereof, I shall say, and it is very interesting. And of course, just hearing my own voice as I typically do when recording these videos, but not having any form of noise and just road noise in the cars passing by is very strange indeed, and is something that I'd have to get used to while driving this truck a lot more. Now in ETS2, there's a lot more coming up here for the game. Obviously, we've got the grease DLC. Oh, we got to slam on the brakes. Come on there, regenerative braking. You can do it. Thank you very much. There's a lot more coming up here. Obviously, with the grease DLC, we've had a couple Guess Where We Are blog posts, at least one as of late, that I guess I wouldn't have talked about because I haven't done any longer form videos about it. And well, here we are today. We've had that. We've had Nordic Horizons. We've had Well, at least that blog post was, I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, I believe that one was about the different assets, or at least some of the different assets that are being made for the DLC. Very neat indeed. Okay, one thing, every time I go by something here that's... I don't feel like I'm getting that close, okay? I really don't feel like I'm getting that close to the edges, and yet it's still beeping. Anyways, Nordic Horizons, with some of the assets that are coming in, that is also going to be a very neat feature as well, or a neat DLC as well, something that, of course, we're going to look forward to, because it's going to be very neat. Oh, brake. There we go. Brakes are different. I'll give it that much. I actually stopped dead on the line. I'll take it. Anyways, going to be a very neat DLC indeed, and I cannot see the light for the life of me. It's going to be very neat, and I cannot wait to explore Greece and the Nordic Horizons DLC whenever they do release. Greece obviously is coming next as far as I know, and then Nordic Horizons. When? I have no clue. I guess sooner than later is what we're all hoping for. Sooner than later. So as we pull into the delivery point here, the charging network of ETS2 is something that SE Software is going to be working on quite a bit. And, okay, there you go. Lack of brakes. Seriously? I've got... Okay, of course, it goes to give me the proximity alert as I've right up against the fence. Nice move there, game. Nice move. Anyways, so... Oh, my word. So this is what I'm talking about. Barely put in the reverse, and it just... If at lower speed, the torque is just everywhere. Stop! Oh my word, this truck. Lower speed is fantastic on the torque. High speed? Maybe not so much. It's not the most torquey when you're rolling, but low speeds, gee whiz, it just flies around. Anyways, I was going to mention that the charging network of ETS2 is something that's going to be continually worked on, and SE Software is going to get it to the phase eventually that this truck and, well, future electric trucks, from what have kind of been hinted at, will eventually be able to, well, get into ETS2 and be able to drive around, be ownable, and all that good stuff. For now, it's going to be in the quick job, so then they are within the realms of their distances that the batteries can do. And some of you will ask, for those who watch to the end of the video, well, how if I run out of power, if I go off course, what happens? Well, there is an emergency charging service in the normal F7 menu that you can, well, choose. So, for example, if I hit enter, there should be a emergency recharge. There it is. So if you are, well, out of power, you will be able to recharge no problem with this truck, and it will give you enough to get to your destination and will be all fine. So they've got that safeguard in there, but we'll have to wait for it to become ownable. That timeline, honestly, we have no clue. I could see the brand new DLCs have charging networks built into them, and then it's just a case of revamping the old areas. At least that's something that I would hope for, if that would just make, in many ways, logistical sense. But I am not the developer, nor do I question their judgment, because SE Software do fantastic work through and through. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you also for bearing with me with this longer wait between episodes of at least a longer stature. It has been quite some time. Quite some time indeed, but it's great to be back here in ETS2 and going to be around the channel a whole lot more, so keep an eye out here for all the good stuff to come. For the third time, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.